Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu ba'd. All praises due to Allah. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Inshallah, we have a special event today before we start our regular monthly program with the Q&A. We have the beautiful award and a beautiful name, mashallah, for beautiful troop that we have here. Boy Scouts troop, in Masjid Champion. What's your troop number?
321.
Huh?
321.
321, mashallah. 321. 321. Inshallah, they will be awarded a special award, medals and all. Bismillah award. Bismillah, we start everything with Bismillah in our religion, mashallah. Say Bismillah ar-Rahman in the name of Allah. With the name of Allah, we start everything. And what a beautiful name for their award. So inshallah, our little brother Shazad come here inshallah and give us a few minutes to introduce what is going to be happening, and then inshallah we'll award them their medals inshallah. So this is a very good thing. All our community is proud of them, and we want to share with them this achievement inshallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. So we are here to award, to distribute Bismillah award to some of our Cub Scouts, and let me show you what it looked like. So this is what Bismillah award comes. So before I get into details of Bismillah award, I want to inform those of you who may not be aware of multiple scouting programs being offered in this masjid. And first of the program is for elementary school boys up to the age of 10 years. It's called Cub Scouting. We have a Cub Scouting group. It's called Pack 321, and Pack 321 is district's one of the best pack, alhamdulillah. And our pack has received award of excellence. This little sticker right here, it's represent that we are awarded with excellence. Back in 2016. So we have been winning all the district level competition for last 3 years, alhamdulillah. And this group has all 100% trained leadership. And this is third largest group of the district. And the district means this district which has a lot of other scouting programs, scouting groups through masjid, church, and different community services. That's the first one. The second one we have is boy scouting from age 11 through 17 boys. Third one is Girls Scout, and the fourth one, which is the new one, newly developed, it's a venturing program. So venturing program is usually is offered to boys and girls of the age of 14 through 20. But alhamdulillah, we have first in the nation venturing program for girls only, registered through this masjid, alhamdulillah. And Jazakallah khair to brother Riza and his team who has put effort to make it happen. He has been with scouting for last, I think, 15 years. MashaAllah, he has put a lot of efforts together to put together all these groups. So venturing program it gives these teenage girls access to a variety of structured programs, and they acquire skills in the area of high adventure activities, community services, leadership, challenging projects, and hobbies of their choices. And these girls work under the guidance of adult leaders. And overall, scouting provides a platform to the youth where they try and learn different things. It's a safe platform for them to fail. So they learn from their failures and they move on to the greater success in all the dimensions. So moving on to Bismillah Award, I'll ask Brother Hassan to please come to the front and talk a little bit about Bismillah Award, and then we'll ask Sheikh Mamdood to distribute this award. Jazakallah khair.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ahsan Azhar, and we are so blessed today to have this opportunity together and recognize our youth. As Brother Shahzad mentioned, we're thankful to the community, particularly our leaders, being Brother Riza and many others with his team who started these programs many years ago, and we have been growing throughout the years. For scouting, basically, a scout starts with an oath or a promise that on my honor, I will do my duty to God. So basically, the whole program revolves around living a worthy religious life. The next step is having a scout's law, and there are 12 attributes that each scout wants to follow or lead an exemplary life accordingly. So trustworthy, loyal, honest, helpful, kind, courteous, and so on. The 12th attribute is being reverent. So this attribute that the scout is reverent, he's reverent towards God, he is faithful in his religious duties, he respects the belief of others, is something that is very deep-rooted in this program. And this recognizes the place of religion in their life, reminds the boys that scouting is related not only to their home, but also in their mosque and their school, and again, recognizes the quality of living a worthy religious life. These religious awards, so the National Islamic Council on Scouting has developed these awards, and they are, one of them, as brother said, is for the elementary grade boys, the Bismillah award, and it has different requirements that are outlined, and the boys complete those over a period of time under the leadership from their parents, their teachers, or their religious scholars. The next one, as brother was mentioning about the scouting program, where they are from age 11 onwards till the age of 18, the Boy Scouts, and that one is the In the Name of God emblem. That's a higher rank, and they have to complete further requirements to achieve that. Now the council also has another similar emblem, but that is for Muslim adults, and it's called Allahu Akbar. I had the pamphlet somewhere here. And then they are working on another emblem, which is the peace emblem. It's under approval process going through, and that's for non-Muslims. So different religious groups have different emblems of this nature. This is the Allahu Akbar, actually, I have it in my hand. And to our knowledge, in our community, so far our brother Riza has been awarded the Allahu Akbar award, and we are in the process of recognizing some of the other adults who have participated in developing these programs. So these Biblo Scouts, the 4th and 5th graders, some of these scouts have already earned this award before. So actually we're going to ask those who have already earned this, can you please stand up? Hey, mashallah. So we have one Cub Scout here, and I just see another one coming in, mashallah. So, and there are others as well. You may have a seat after playing basketball. Some of them are playing basketball? Okay. So, they have already earned this, and today we have this another group where we have 7 4th graders, Biblos, and 2 Biblo 2s, 5th graders, who have achieved this. These boys learned and also submitted reports based on different topics, and they participated in religious services on regular basis, at home, in the masjid, at their Islamic school or Sunday school. The few of the topics that they picked and they had to work on was knowledge about holy books, the prophets, about information regarding Kaaba, the holy months. They wrote essays or reports on their Muslim heroes and also great American Muslims, just to name a few of those things. So as the brother mentioned, this pendant is attached to this bronze pin, and it carries the Arabic letters Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And basically it is something that they can pin on their left shirt pocket, inshallah. So without much delay, we are very thankful to the community to provide this opportunity and for the masjid to give us this opportunity today. And I'm going to request Sheikh Mamdood to please come, and then we will call out each boy's name to come and receive this award. I'm also going to request if the parents are here, especially if they can stand up at the same time. Thank you. So we will start with the 5th graders. Shihab Awad Maqbool.
He has to shake hand with you. ما شاء الله تكبير
الله أكبر. Sayyid Zahid Biyabani.
تكبير
الله أكبر.
proud of you mate. Good job.
Hussain Ansari.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله تكبير
الله أكبر.
good job good job.
Muhammad Gibran Ahsan.
ما شاء الله تكبير
Gibran Saeed.
ما شاء الله تكبير
Allah Akbar. Usaid Bhutta is one of our Biblos. They're out of town, so his father sent his regrets. Rayat Shahade.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله تكبير
Yusuf Momin.
love the smile ما شاء الله تكبير
Allah Akbar.
proud of you.
And Zahid Zakaria.
ما شاء الله تكبير proud of you.
I think this is the boy that is not doing it. Pictures? You can share? Get close, Hussain.
Yes, I know. I need some of those emblems. Maybe we'll create one like good imam, you know, good imam. Thank you. Proud of all of you. Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الحمد لله. First of all, I'd like to express my happiness, mashallah, to see this effort and this endeavor in our community, and we see the future, mashallah, with our kids being that dedicated and mashallah disciplined and working toward achieving a goal. So this is something to be proud of. Inshallah, to proceed, please inshallah write your questions about the month of Sha'ban, the month of Ramadan, and I'll do as much as I can inshallah, and we'll get the rest answered by our beloved Dr. Salah Sawi, who could not be among us tonight for some reason. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for him. So inshallah, sisters and brothers, you can write your questions in the cards as we do the first Friday of every month, inshallah. We are, as you all know, in the month of Sha'ban now, month of Sha'ban. And this is the month that there is a narration about one of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Usama ibn Zayd radiallahu anhuma. He asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, He said, قلت يا رسول الله, he said, O Messenger of Allah, لم أرك تصوم شهرا من الشهور ما تصوم في شعبان. I have not seen you fasting as many days in a month, in a given month, as you do during the month of Sha'ban. So what is the deal? So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ذاك أو ذلك شهر يغفل الناس عنه بين رجب ورمضان وهو شهر ترفع فيه الأعمال إلى رب العالمين فأحب أن يرفع عملي وأنا صائم. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, this is a month that mostly people are not aware of its benefit and its fruit, and it is between 2 months, the month of Rajab and the month of Ramadan. Month of Rajab is one of the sacred months, as the Sheikh mentioned last month. So it's one of the months of the sacred month. And the month of Ramadan is a month of worship. We all fast and do all of that. So in between there is a month that people are either busy with the month before or busy with the month that comes. So that's why, you're focusing on the coming month, but forgetting the importance of the month of Sha'ban. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the most important act or the most important thing that takes place during this month is that our annual deeds, or the report of our annual deeds, it goes to Allah Azza Jal during this month. So during this month is the month that you have the audit for the whole year. You have your audit. All your deeds, all the report of what you did, what you said, what you intended, what you looked at, what you did right or wrong or any of that, it goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to decide about each and every one's case. This is how we believe as Muslims. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, our Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I like this to happen to me while I'm fasting. That shows us the level of fasting. When you are fasting, you are humble. When you are fasting, you are like physically not as strong as you are when you are, full, when you have food and drink and all of that. Your mind functions different, your desire functions different, your intentions function different, and so on. When you have food. When you have lack of food, when you are food deprived, then things start taking different route. So that's one of the actual benefit of fasting. When you are fasting, you are more sincere. It works like that. You are more sincere. So that's why Allah looks at you in that state of weakness, that state of humility, that state of submission to Allah, depriving yourself willingly from food and drink for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah forgives you. You get the idea of why it's important to fast during the month of Sha'ban and why the Prophet was fasting. I like my deeds to go to Allah while I am fasting. So also there is another point in the month of Sha'ban that the Prophet ﷺ said this is a month that many people, they are not aware of its goodness. Doing an act of worship among people or in a time that nobody is heeding its importance is more rewarded. So if you are among a community that all of them they pray and all of them memorize the Quran and all of them are good, you are rewarded. But you are not as rewarded as if you alone by yourself among everybody who's doing the opposite. Okay? So if there is a time that everybody is asleep, let's say the night prayer, everybody is asleep at that time, and you decide to wake up at the end of the night and pray, that is more rewarded than the prayer in the beginning of the night. Why? Because everybody is heedless of its importance. That's about the time. Now about a community. When you are surrounded by people who do not pray, but you insist on praying on time, you are more rewarded than when you are with people who are helping you and supporting you to pray. And this actually, I'd like to commend all our new Muslim brothers and sisters and all new Muslim brothers and sisters, because they're doing an effort while everything else is against them. The culture, the tradition, their past life, people around, support system, the family, the friends, everyone is opposite to what they decided to do. So I'm just telling you, glad tidings to you in the month of Sha'ban and the month of Ramadan and all of that. Every single deed, it does not matter how little it is greatly rewarded more than those who are born into the religion and they are doing it. So this is something I would always like to support and say. And somebody also who repented to Allah. is born or she's born Muslim, raised Muslim, but they were not practicing. But they decide to be practicing. They were in a community or an environment that's not helping, and still is not helping. And actually it would be worse, the pressure, the peer pressure and all of that. And when they do every single deed, we're all supposed to encourage them and pray to Allah Azza wa Jal for them. So that is the importance of the times when people are heedless. Also because it becomes very hard on you as well. And whenever something hard on you, you are rewarded, subhanallah, for that. So inshallah, please, the families keep your kids in the masjid. Because, there are toddlers playing right now in the parking lot. We don't want that, do we? So bring your toddlers here, inshallah, get the barakah of the masjid. Now, please keep your questions coming. If you have questions, I will stop and I'll answer them, inshallah, while I'm speaking about the importance of months of Sha'ban and how to get ready for the month of Ramadan. If there is a question, inshallah, I'll do my best to answer it. The scholars said about the deeds being raised to Allah during this month or any other time. They said there are 3 types of review. Like our deeds go to Allah Azza wa Jal in 3 levels. 1, every single day. When? Who can tell me when? Sisters and brothers. I'm going to ask you questions until you give me questions, okay? So when is the time that your daily deeds go up to Allah, ascend to Allah? There are 2 times every day. Who can tell me those 2 times? Fajr and Asr, ahsan. Very good, mashallah. So it is in the time of Salat al-Subh and at the time of Salat al-Asr. Salat al-Subh and Salat al-Asr. That's why, my brothers, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, brothers and sisters, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to do the adhkar, say certain praises of Allah, right after Fajr prayer, Subh prayer until the sunrise, and right after Asr prayer until the sunset, to start your new daily report, right? Your new daily report. During the day, the first thing you write in it is saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, like that. You say all praises of God. So the first thing that goes in your book is praising Allah. And Asr time, again you start that, And then in between, if you do anything wrong, because the beginning is good and the end is good, so hopefully Allah forgive the rest. So that's something we need to know. And that's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, that the angels come to you in the morning and before the sunset and take your deeds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we have weekly ascension of deeds. Who can tell me the days? The days that every week your deeds go to Allah? Thursday. On Thursday, and in this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, إِنَّ أَعْمَالَ بَنِي آدَمْ تُعْرَضُ كُلَّ خَمِيسٍ لَيْلَةَ الْجُمْعَةِ فَلَا يُقْبَلُ عَمَلُ قَاطِعِ رَحِمٍ. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the deeds of the children of Adam are reviewed by Allah Azza wa Jal every Friday night. Friday night means last night, right? Now we started Saturday night. That's how we do it, right? So now it's Saturday night. Once Maghrib time comes, sunset, this is Saturday night. The night comes before the day. Okay, so last night was Friday night. Thursday at night is Friday night. Okay, so this is how you remember it. At night is the next day's night. So think about it like that. So at night is the next day's night. Remember the formula. So tonight is Friday at night, and it is what? Yeah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the deeds are reviewed every Friday night, means Thursday at night. And the person who is not good to his or her kin, rahim, your relatives, without any excuse or valid religious reason, Allah will not accept your deeds. So please, inshallah, this month, anybody who have a family member that they're not happy with, pick up the phone and call me. I know it's hard sometimes, especially if you have the right. If they wronged you, it's very tough, it's hard. Send them a message on WhatsApp, send them a message, text them, call, just say, may Allah forgive me and you. Just say that. May Allah forgive me and you. Okay? So just be that one. So you don't be among those who cut their relationship. So maybe you're risking, the rejection of all the other good deeds. There are third type of raising or ascension of the deeds. It is the month of Sha'ban. That's the annual, that's the one we are talking about. And it is very, very important, subhanAllah. Also, this month works as an introduction to the month of Ramadan. So, if we fast now, Monday and Thursday, at least fast 2-3 days, 13, 14, 15 of the month, lunar, days, 13, 14, 15, still coming. You have Monday and Thursday, you can do it a couple of times. That becomes like a preparation for the month of Ramadan. So it doesn't shock you, especially those who did not fast any time since last Ramadan. Yeah, sometimes they're, you fast Ramadan and that's it. Maybe you fast 6 days after Ramadan and that's it for the next year. So consider Sha'ban is like a preparation for that. Allah Azza wa Jal give you reward for that. Also prepare in the month of Sha'ban for Sadaqah. Many of us want to delay the charity and the zakat to the month of Ramadan to get greater reward, right? I'll advise you actually, if there is a need, you should give it now. Why wait till the month of Ramadan? Why you want the people, especially if you are giving sadaqah to the poor, why you want the poor to wait for 1 month? Because sometimes we think from our side, right? I want to get more reward, so I want to spend or give the poor, feed the poor in the beginning of Ramadan. Why don't feed them now? Why you want them to stay hungry until Ramadan? Think about it. Yes? So give, inshallah, even if you give a little bit, it's very important, right? Giving. And maybe we die before the month of Ramadan. Maybe you give now and you pray to Allah in Ramadan to accept your deeds. Because this sadaqah and charity is based on the need. And someone can donate or can give during the whole month of Ramadan every day and nothing is accepted. And someone can give before Ramadan because someone needed and they can raise their hand for making dua for you, prayer for you, and you are forgiven before you enter the month of Ramadan. Would you like to be forgiven now or would you like to wait until Ramadan to be forgiven? Which one? See, this is called reframing, like thinking different about things. So would you like to wait until Ramadan to be forgiven, or you would like to be forgiven now? Then ask for forgiveness now. Someone will say, inshallah, when Ramadan comes, I'm going to do tahajjud every night. Well, start tonight. How about that? I will only donate, I'll give zakah in Ramadan. Start today. Divide your zakah and give from today, and also give in Ramadan. Through Ramadan as well. There is a surgery, maybe some of the doctors can correct me here. They do the gastric sleeve surgery, the bypass surgery, gastric sleeve, to lose weight, for people to lose weight. Yeah. Okay, so when you go to the doctor, they just don't cut you open and do it, and then you lose weight. Okay, there is a psychological part in it, subhanAllah. And when was reading about that, it's amazing. So they give you about 6 months to start losing weight before the surgery. Why they do that? They said, we want the surgery to catch you having a habit. Alright? Because guess what? Everybody said, okay, you scheduled for the surgery after 1 month. They will eat their life. They will eat everything. They will eat to death. Right? Why? Because they said, surgery will make me lose the weight, so I can eat and do everything now because surgery has the switch. Right? But they said, you know what? You have at least to lose this much. So when you are going down, then the surgery comes here and it increases. So it becomes a lifestyle. Subhanallah. This is just for our health. Spiritual health works the same. Ramadan comes, you're going to fast every day for 30 days. Start now doing 1 or twice a week. Right? So at least 4 or 5 days before Ramadan, you get through it. Start the sadaqah now. Every day you give $1, then $2, then $5, then $10. Then when Ramadan comes, you give extra, it becomes easy on you. Start praying tahajjud now, every other day or every other night. So when Ramadan comes, Taraweeh becomes easy on you. Remember the experiment we did at this masjid last year? Remember the tahajjud experiment? Remember what when we prayed Salat al-Fajr, we take like 12 minutes or 15 minutes, and it was very long. But after we pray 12 minutes or 15 minutes per rak'ah, one rak'ah, for 10 days, Fajr prayer became so easy. So I asked the brothers and sisters, they said, what do you notice about the Salah? I said, it's short. I said, actually, it is longer than before Ramadan. You see? So that is how it works, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. If any questions, inshallah, please, submit them. Also, the month of Sha'ban, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, as Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha saying, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يصوم حتى نقول لا يفطر ويفطر حتى نقول لا يصوم وما رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم استكمل صيام شهر قط إلا رمضان وما رأيته في شهر أكثر منه صياما في شعبان. So she's saying, the wife of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم, she's saying that Rasulullah used to fast, that's general, during the year, right? He would fast days after days until we think that he will fast the rest of the month or the rest of the year. He fasts 10, 15 days together. And then he will eat also, and then we said, he's not going to fast again or what? So he's like that, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And she said, I never saw him finishing a whole month of fasting except Ramadan, and I never saw him fasting most of a month except Sha'ban, which is this month. So this is very, very important. Also, there is the month of Sha'ban. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allah forgives everybody who asks forgiveness. Say La ilaha illallah, no one worthy of worship but Allah, the Muhammad Rasulullah, Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Anybody who believes in that, your sins will be forgiven if you go back sincerely to Allah during this month, except if there are two people fighting with each other on no religious basis. There is no rights and between them, and there is no religious issues. So if somebody eats somebody's right, somebody transgress someone, and they are not talking to them, this is not what we're talking about here. Right is right. If somebody owes you the right, it doesn't mean I will not be forgiven because I'm asking you for my right. It doesn't mean like that. Or if somebody is doing something wrong and someone is debating with them about it, that's not also included in this. We're saying about things that could be fixed, and it is not religious, and we can get along. But we choose to have this contention. We are risking forgiveness for both of us. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِلَّا مُشْرِكْ أَوْ مُشَاهِدْ, except a person who disbelieves or associates with Allah, and a person and two people who are fighting with each other with no basis. Fasting voluntarily, without it being a duty. Ramadan is a duty, right? Obligation on all of us. We fast because of that. But now, if you fast, is it a duty upon you? No. So what is the reward for that? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا يصوم عبد يوما في سبيل الله, nobody would fast a day voluntarily for the sake of Allah, except إلا بعد الله بذلك اليوم وجهه على النار 70 خريفا. Allah Azza wa Jal will distance that person from Jahannam 70 measures or 70 years of distance, from the hellfire. So every day you do, Allah distances you from the punishment. We all make mistakes, yet this is what's going to happen. Also, a person asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abi Umama, one of the companions of the Prophet, he said, Ya Rasulullah, murni bi'amalin yanfa'uni Allahu bih. Order me with the deed that Allah benefits me with. I benefit with. He said, عليك بالصوم فإنه لا عدل له. Fast because there is nothing equal to that. And whoever dies while fasting enters paradise if he dies on a faith, in a state of faith. من ختم له بصيام دخل الجنة. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Fasting and Quran. Quran also, we read the Quran, book of Allah. Do you read it well, understanding it, or not understanding it? Some people, they make this a big issue, right? What is the importance of reading, and we don't understand anything? Okay, are you telling me, my brother or my sister, that we should all stop reading Quran until we understand it? Is that what he's saying? I'm sure that's not what he's saying. I'm sure what you're saying is encouraging us to try to understand it. Okay? But meantime, we cannot tell people to stop reciting it, even if they don't understand it. I hope the message is clear, right? Recite the Quran. You understand it, you don't understand it, recite the Quran. You're struggling reciting, continue while learning. Don't say, I don't know how to apply the rules of tajweed, so I'm not going to recite. No, recite. Read. Look in the Quran, the book of Allah. Try to learn. Now it's Sha'ban, the month of Sha'ban. Inshallah, if Allah gives us life, bi'idhnillah, with the permission of Allah, next Sha'ban while we are sitting in this masjid, I want some of my sisters and brothers who do not know the Arabic alphabet to make this your goal. Just make the goal that I know, I'm familiar with the Arabic alphabet. Can we do that, inshallah? Inshallah? For those who know this, make a year annual goal that you will be able to read a complete sentence. Small goal. We don't want big goals. Just do small goal and work toward that goal, 1 millimeter every day. No problem. At the end of the year, you have 1 inch or 2 inches. That's good. Better than nothing. You are striving in the path of Allah. But the book of Allah, my brothers and sisters, wallahi, this is your key to all goodness, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Okay. Thank you. Some people, I'll translate straight, even the question coming in Arabic. Some Muslims, they keep complaining once Ramadan is approaching and once Ramadan comes because of the heat and the long day and the heat and such and such. What do we advise them? I advise them that it is not as hot as last year, inshallah. And the day is shorter than last year, alhamdulillah. Right? And it takes about 33 years to be fixed. Alright? So, and when you are 66 years old, the beauty of this is that you fasted every single day, Ramadan, and every single day of the year. You fasted in the winter, the fall, the spring, and the summer. Subhanallah. Isn't that worth it? Isn't that worth it? That's my advice. Whenever you have a challenge, you want to do the challenge under all conditions. When you want to buy a car, you want to buy the 4x4, even though you don't go off-road, right? You just want everything complete. But you want to be ready for all terrain, you want to be ready for all things. If you have an equipment that works in the summer and the winter and everything, you become proud, you're happy, even if you used it once in your life. It's worth it, right? When you have a flashlight, the flashlight can be sitting under your sink in your kitchen for a year. But when the light goes off, that's worth gold. Yes? So inshallah you are going for that heat, you are going for all of this, but guess what? One day, when you're standing in front of Allah, you will see the beauty of what you did. So I remember when I was young, I started fasting when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and it was July in Islamabad, Pakistan. Who knows what does that mean? Huh? And there was no air conditions. We were blessed at our house because there was a ceiling fan. Okay? So I used to sneak and go, put my head under the tap, and sometimes you let the water slide in your mouth, a little bit. 6-year-old, So this is, I advise these brothers and sisters, al-ajru ala qadri al-mashaqqa. Your reward is based on how much you suffer. So seek the help of Allah and it will make you stronger. You have Boy Scouts here, mashallah, they put them through challenges and writing and skills, mental, psychological, everything. Why? Because when they grow up, they become strong. So this will make you stronger, inshallah. All right. Another question says, my husband is newly Muslim. He says, if the people, they not desiring to fast, so Allah does not want them to fast, and I don't know how to ask him. Now, Allah is the only one who knows the intentions of people, right? And the Sheikh said last month in the questions and answers, if you remember, we judge people by what we see in front of us. And we try to correct and advise them based on that as well, not based on your intention. You cannot decide for Allah what Allah wants, but what Allah doesn't want. You cannot say, this person is not doing because Allah does not like him. Allah did not tell you that. Right? Allah did not tell you that. Allah did not tell the Prophet himself, Prophet Muhammad himself. Some people were hypocrites in his ranks with him, praying behind him. Allah showed him some of them. Allah said, many we did not show you. Allah is the one who knows. So you cannot say that these people are doing because they are good. These people were praying, were fighting with the Prophet, were fasting, were doing everything, yet it was not accepted from them. Okay? And our Prophet, peace be upon him, he told the companions when they were going one day in an expedition, and he said, there are people who are staying in Medina, did not come with us, but Allah rewarded them as you and more. Why? Because they have good intention. So there is no way to say when a person does not do something or complain, that means because they are weak or they are bad people, or someone who is doing the thing because they are good and pious. It doesn't work like that. Intention is belonging to Allah, but when we see somebody falling short, we're supposed to support them and advise them and tell them don't complain, because they are like complaining about Allah. Do as much as you can. Even if a new Muslim cannot fast Ramadan, that's all right. Try your best, my sister. Try your best, my brother. Start like a child, like a baby. Fast like half day. Train yourself. Fast one day. Strive until you become familiar with it. And we're not pushing you to do that. Take your time, take your time, but have the intention that you want to worship Allah the way you should be worshipped. Can women read Quran while they are in their period? When the woman is in that time, the scholars differ about her touching the mushaf, carrying the mushaf. And the correct opinion is that she should not carry the mushaf or move it or open it, except with a gloves or something in their hand. So that's out of respecting the Quran. لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. That's about touching it, not reading. Now, reading the Quran from memory, they differed about that. Because she stays like this time of the month, 5 days, 4 days, 10 days, sometimes 15 days. If every month means 1/3 of her life or 1/4 of her life, she will not be reading Quran. So the scholars differed about that. Unless it is necessary, or you are reviewing, or you are teaching, or so on, you should not be reading it. And this is one of the tests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, can you carrying the iPad or the iPhone or a book of tafsir of Quran which has the Quran in it, that's not considered mushaf. So the rule does not apply to it. So inshallah you can read if it is necessary or if you need to teach or learn. Where are the ones? Okay. If you do not have much knowledge, is it okay to give nasiha during Ramadan or any other time? Of course. You give advice according to your knowledge. But the important thing is to know how much knowledge you have. And please train yourself to say, I don't know. Do it. It's good. It feels good, by the way. It humbles you. But don't say, I don't know, while you know, right? Don't do that. So as much as you can, you say, according to my limited knowledge, this is such and such. If you have, and where to know the limit of your knowledge? Who can tell me? How to know the limit of your knowledge? If somebody asks you a question, how do you know they are knowledgeable about this or not? If you have the doubt about answer, don't answer. If you have a doubt about the answer, don't answer. That's the limit of your knowledge there. Only answer or give advice of something you are sure of. Okay? And if you can give a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you can give a verse of Quran, that's fine. If you can't, then you say, you know what, I think I know the answer, I'll make sure and I'll let you know. But you can give the nasiha. You can give the nasiha. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the religion is nasiha. Ad-deen al-nasiha. They said, to who ya Rasulullah? Said to the book of Allah, to all of that. And then he said to the leaders and to the laity, to everybody. So everybody should give the nasiha. Does using inhaler break your fast? No. If not, would smoking break your fast? Yes. And I don't want to go to the details because the details will upset many people. So just take it on the face value, right? So the agreed upon is things that considered drink, things considered food, getting through your mouth, through your esophagus, and it goes to the stomach. That is with regards to consumption, right? There are other things that break the fasting, but this is what is agreed upon. Now anything that does not come through that, or is not considered food or drink, you will always find issues with it among the scholars, right? Now, inhaler is a medicine, it's a necessity, so taking it, it does not nullify your fast, and also taking it with measurement. But smoking, the desire, the reason you're taking it, the way the person is smoking, the amount of it, there are many other things. And also it's from khaba'ith, yani. It is not from pure things, it's from impurities. Can somebody say, is smoking pure, khabith or tayyib? Yeah, so here is the answer for you. So, yeah. All right. What is the authenticity of fasting of 14 and 15 Sha'ban only? There is no authenticity for fasting these special days. The authentic thing is the Ayyamul Bid, or the bright days, or the white days, where the moon is like 4, 13, 14, 15 of every lunar calendar month. محرم صفر ربيع أول ربيع الثاني جماد الأول جماد الثاني رجب شعبان طبعا رمضان we fast the whole thing. Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, and Dhul Hijjah. You fast 13, 14, and 15 of all of those, and طبعا this is ibadah, this is worship of Allah, and worship either come in the Quran or the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there is a proof that Rasulullah said 13, 14, 15. If somebody fasts 14 or 15 of any month alone, or 15 alone, nobody can tell them you're wrong. But to specify them and say 14 and 15 of Sha'ban has a special value in it, you have to bring a proof for that. Is that clear? But if you want to fast any day of the month, fast as long as it's not contradicting. You cannot fast Jum'ah alone, example. You cannot fast the day of Eid. You cannot fast the day of Arafah if you are in Arafah, in Hajj. Those are the things, unless there is a prohibition, fast any day you want. Alright? But to think or believe there is a special value or benefit, that is the part that we need to work on. Some friends or relatives need help, and you help them from your zakat money without informing that you are helping them from zakat money. Is this acceptable or not? Actually, this is the duty. This is what's supposed to be. You don't go give someone and tell, here is my zakat. Actually, you're not supposed to do that. Zakat is what you intend, this is zakat. You don't have to make people know it is zakat, except to deliver it to someone. Like if I am giving my money to the masjid, right? So they can give it to those who deserve it, all right? So I am obligated now to tell the masjid, this is my zakat. Why? Because they have to know that. So they can give it to those who deserve the zakat, they don't use it in the general. Yes? Now the masjid giving the poor people, you don't have to tell them this is from the zakat money unless they come ask you for zakat. When they come, some people come and fill the zakat application, I need this zakat, I qualify for zakat. So then yeah, because they have to prove that they qualify for the zakat. But if you go give a relative $100 or $200 or $300, you decided, you made your homework, you decided that they deserve the zakat, you don't have to announce that to them. Actually it is the opposite. I asked Dr. Salah about that many years, and he said you shouldn't tell people zakat. If you can give it without hurting their feeling or without saying this is sadaqah or zakat, just give it. You don't even have to tell somebody, here is $100 sadaqah, my brother. Please don't do that. Just try to be as polite and as honorable and preserving their honor as possible. Subhanallah, it hurts me so much when I see those who are able trying to make those who are unable feel that they are doing a favor to them. This is actually against the main rule. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى. Don't nullify the reward for your sadaqah with man, means reminding people with what you did, and other harm. Harm here is not physical. The harm here is emotional. Emotional abuse or emotional harm is as bad as physical one. When you make someone feel like that, like there is a joke that somebody gave a sadaqah one of his suit and tie, to somebody who did not have a suit and tie. And then he's walking in the morning, going to work, that guy with the suit and tie, and then he's walking and said, careful, don't step on that. Be careful, the suit is like, he's making everybody know that I am the one who gave. And then in the public, how's the suit? Fits you? Good? How's the shoes that I sent? Alhamdulillah, the sugar and the oil, enough. Adha. It's adha. This is called harm, emotional harm. Where Muslims don't do that. Nowadays, we have Al-Quran on phones. Is it permissible to carry it into bathroom? Yes. I have the Quran in my head and I still go to the bathroom. So no problem. Carrying it in the phone or the iPad, as long as you don't open it while you are using the toilet. Don't do that. Alright? So you can enter with your phone, no problem, and all that. But the real question actually should be that for sisters, especially when they are wearing this necklaces and all that they have Quran, mashallah, or tabarakallah, or things like that, try to hide it when you are entering the bathroom. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to take off his ring, which has La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah in it. There was a stamp. He used to take it out before he used that, responding to the call of nature. He used to do that. So from that, anything that has the name of Allah, don't enter the bathroom with it. But the phone is not considered that. This is a digital copy and it has other things. If someone have missed fasting days in past, do they need to make it up before next Ramadan, or can they do no before next Ramadan? You need to make up this fasting, and you have to know why they broke the fasting, because they were traveling or because they were sick. Sickness is permanent or not. There are different ahkam. Inshallah, we'll have a series of lectures in here talking about the ahkam. But in brief, if a person got sick and then they recovered, they have to make those days up before the following Ramadan, or otherwise it will be sinful. They still have to make it after Ramadan, and then they give expiation sadaqah as well, fidya as well. So better before Ramadan, so you avoid the sin and you avoid the extra monetary expiation as well. So before the next Ramadan has to be done. If a person traveling, same thing. You can delay it until Sha'ban, that's fine. Sisters, they were in their period or the postpartum, the bleeding in the fast, also you make it up. Now for the sisters who are pregnant or they are nursing, all the four imams, Al-Ahnaf, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i and Hanbali, they said that the women pregnant or nursing, they have to make up. And I know there will be a challenge. What if a woman, she got pregnant and she breastfeed for 2 years, then she got pregnant again, and breastfeed for 2 years, then she got pregnant again. How she is going to do that, right? So I'm not talking about these kind of scenarios. We're talking about general scenarios, right? General scenarios. So when you are talking fiqh or jurisprudence, don't shoot these kind of things at us, right? Because it doesn't help like this. So let's talk about the general rule first. For a woman who is able to make up, she should make up first. Not every single woman who is pregnant, she breastfeeds for 2 years. You see? So the scenario is you are assuming that every woman will be 3 years, then another 3 years, then another 3 years, then another. What are the chances of seeing this in front of you? Not much, right? So the four imams said that she has to make up. But Abdullah ibn Abbas, Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abdullah ibn Umar, they have another opinion which is also valid and strong, even though it is not from four imams. They said she gives fidya for every day. For every day that the woman is pregnant and it's going to affect her health or the baby's health or both, by the statement of a trustworthy medical professional, he says that if you fast, lack of nutrition, lack of water will affect this pregnancy or will affect your milk and feeding the baby, then should take it from that trustworthy and don't even do 1 day. Now, do you make it up? If you can, alhamdulillah, make it up. If you want to take that opinion, give fidya. Fidya for each day feeding a miskin. About $10. I would always say to the people, my surah al-hal, that someone who is able to give $15. Because $15 can help someone with 2 meals nicely. They can eat 2 meals a day. You can give them to one person for every single day for 30 days or 29 days. 10 times 29, that's 290. 10 times 30, that's $300. And that's for the month of Ramadan. So you can give it to one person, you can give it to 2, you can give it to 30. It's up to you. It's good also to give it to the masjid if the masjid have the system to deliver it to that. If you know someone or family member, that would be even better. And again, you don't have to tell them this is a fidya, right? You don't have to do that. You can give it to them, but you know that they are going to use it to eat. And mashallah, believe it or not, in Houston here we have plenty of those. We have plenty of those. You know, and I want to disclose this to you without any details. Personally, in the past 2 weeks, you know, there was in front of me $4,000 just given to those who want to eat. Eat. You know, there are people who need that money desperately in our communities. Just eat food. All right? So we think about luxury. We think that living in America means you live in luxury. That's not true. There are people who want to eat. There are people who cannot come to the Jama'ah today for Maghrib or Isha because they don't have $10 to put gas in their car. There are people like that. Yeah. Can the fast of 13, 14, 15 count toward making up on missed fasts? Yes. We can fast with two intentions. Fast Monday and Thursday. You get the reward for the fard. The fard you are making up, but inshallah, hopefully you get the reward for... But this is fard, you know. Fard and sunnah cannot be together. If I understood the question right, 13, 14, 15 count toward making up missed fasting. You can fast on 13, 14, 15, but it is not going to be meeting two, fard and sunnah. You can do the fasting with two intentions. It is a Monday and Thursday, and it happened to be 13, 14, and 15. You get reward twice for observing the Monday and Thursday and observing the 13, 14, and 15. If they are Monday, Thursday, and they are 6 days after Ramadan, that's fine too. Okay, so on. But fard, only for fard. Okay, you cannot do two niyyah for fard or a fard and sunnah. And I cannot pray Salat al-Fajr, 2 rak'ah, and the intention of sunnah also with it. Right? They have to be separate, if I understood the question right. If someone misses suhoor and later feels sick while fasting, they break the fast. They make it up. Because, you know, this is a rukhsa. If a person feeling sick, they are going to faint, they're going to pass out. Of course, you break the fasting, you don't want to die, right? So you break the fasting and make this up. And next time, don't forget your suhoor, put in your alarm. All right? I live in a city and work in another city. Which one I can apply qasr rule on? And fasting rule. I don't know how far is that city to say that, but as the Sheikh mentioned also last month, if you are working in Houston, if you are living in Houston and you work in Dallas, let's assume that you go every day, maybe somebody goes every day, so you break the fasting, and then you find the days, the weekends or something like that, you don't go and you have to make up after. But once you leave your city, then the rules of qasr and the breaking the fast will apply to you. Once you leave the city. So if you are in the airport, if you are traveling by airplane, if you are in the airport, this is considered that you left the city. Once you pass the checkpoint and all of that, you can do the qasr, Zuhr al-Asr at the time of Zuhr or Asr, Maghrib al-Isha at the time of Maghrib or Isha. You break the fasting and all of that. And then you make up فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَامٍ أُخْرَى, as Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned. See, I answer fast because my knowledge is very limited, but Shaykh Salah, mashallah, gives the may Allah reward him. If a woman has many days from previous year fasting, can the choice be between feeding the needy or fasting the days? It depends. I would prefer, if she's able to, she should fast. She should fast. If you are not able to, then you give that according to your own ability, inshallah Rabbul Alameen. Allah Azza wa Jalla accept. Can I pray for non-Muslims if he is requesting you to pray for his sickness? Yes. I go visit sometimes non-Muslims sick. Said I ask God to give you shifa, to give you healing. May Allah cure you. And no problem. Because we don't know. Maybe this puts in their heart the love of the religion. We are rahmah for people. We are mercy for people. We are not punishing. We are not there to classify people or close the doors or the gates of God's mercy in front of them. You should visit sick people in the hospital, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims. If they request you to pray for them, sure, pray for them, inshallah. Pray for them. And pray for their guidance as well. Is this night the disbeliever do not believe in Quran ayah? I don't know what is that. Is this night that the disbeliever, quote unquote, do not believe in Quran ayah? Anybody understand that? I don't understand that. Maybe you can write it again, inshallah, rewrite it for me. Is it okay if I tell my sister that my kids and your kids are not on Islam because they don't believe in Quranic ayat on cousins' marriage in USA? Please advise. Okay. This is important, by the way. So, one, when we're giving da'wah to people, you give it with hikmah and maw'idh al-hasanah. You give it with wisdom, and you give it in the right way. Okay? And when you advise, you don't say, I think my kids and your kids are disbelievers, or they are not on Islam. That's a big statement. You don't move someone from Islam just like that. You don't do that. You know, you can talk about the act, but don't classify someone as you say, whoever does that, he's risking their religion. But when you see somebody is doing that, don't say you are a non-Muslim. Don't do that. Applying the rule is completely different from explaining. Okay, so you explain, say, instead of judging like this, explain, let's, discuss this, let's do that, let's invite our kids to understand Quran more, and all of this. Now, mixing the culture with religion is something very common that happens. The word cousins here and marriage, they don't go together in the culture, in the Western culture. All right? Should respect that, not by canceling the rule. Okay? Not by canceling the rule. Is it in Islam that you say you have to marry cousins to each other? Is there anything like that in Islam? No, it says it is permissible. But if a culture decides not to do it, all right. What's the big deal? I don't see a big deal here. Really, I don't know. Like some people, they say, okay, you have to, it is permissible to do such and such. It doesn't mean that you have to do such and such. If somebody doesn't want to do it, that's fine. Right? There is food, garlic and onion, they are not something nice to eat while coming to the masjid. But nobody can say it's haram. So if a culture, for health reason, or for some statistics, or for some tradition, or something like that, they said, you know what? We know Islamically is permissible, but this is hard for us as a culture to do it. All right? We are not denying the rule of Allah, but we choose not to accept, this marriage. It's okay until here. Now, if somebody transgresses and say, I don't think this makes sense, and this is not right, and this rule, even if this is in the Quran, I don't believe in it, that is a mushkil. That is a problem that we need to fix. Not every rule that says it is permissible means you have to apply it, otherwise you are not a good Muslim. That's what I'm trying to say here. Not every rule of permissibility means if you don't want to do, it means like you're not a good Muslim. Please, we don't do that. All right? معلش خليها دي عديها. You have to bring this every time. باين عليك يا عم عندك الله يعينك. All right, so inshallah tell your sister that let's differentiate between disbelieving in the ruling and not wanting to apply a permissible ruling. There's two different things. And this is, I found it is always the case. It solves the problem with the youth who are born and raised here. When you tell them, yeah, you don't want to eat that food, that's fine. Even though it's permissible. You don't want to use the miswak, it's okay, even the sunnah, but use the toothbrush. But don't say this miswak is no good. Don't tell me that this is backwardness or this is retard. Don't do that. You don't want to do it, that's fine. But it does not change the rule. Okay? I think I answered all the questions here tonight. So, Jazakumullah khairan. And may Allah reward you all. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Inshallah we'll have classes about the rules of fasting in details. So please stay tuned and follow us inshallah on Facebook. وجزاكم الله خيرا.